Commission, Regional Center for International Commercial Arbitration, National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Nigerian Copyright Commission, National Agency for Prohibition of Traffic in Persons. Ladies and gentlemen, let me begin, Your Excellency the Chairman, by once more reiterating my apology over my inability to attend to an invitation earlier on extended to my office by the committee as it relates to a pending issue relating to P and ID. I want to state on record that I had to travel out of the country in respect of the same matter to attend to pressing issue, which was time-bound, against the background of the fact that we were accorded an opportunity, leave to appeal the enforcement proceedings, stay of execution, which was conditional, and we had housekeeping judicial matters to keep to within a regulated time. But I'm happy to state that I'm available and willing and ready to attend to the invitation once it is further extended by the committee, Your Excellency. This distinguished committee brings to fruition our quest to reposition the legal services at the capital base of the ministry in their need of funding to service our huge legal commitments. Payment of judgment debts. Ministry of Justice was mandated to take inventory and explore avenues for the payment of judgment debts, which has become hydra-headed. This has arisen because it was only in 2017 that the sum of 10 billion was disbursed for the payment of judgment debt as appropriated. As it stands, the sum of over 150 billion remains unpaid, prompting beneficiaries of this sum to keep mounting pressures on the ministry. Distinguished members of this committee are hereby respectively requested to intervene on this long-standing vexed issue by appropriating the sum of 30 billion annually to mitigate this challenge, to forestall possible friction, accrued interest, and unwarranted litigations arising from our failure to effect payment, which may eventually occasion embarrassment by way of possible attachment and threats to the assets of the federal government. Threat to peace. Terrorism and allied violent extremism, namely kidnapping, banditry, human trafficking, cattle rustling, communal clashes, sex for marks, kept resonating. Our departments of public prosecution, legal services, civil litigation, and administration of Criminal Justice Act keep working round the clock in concert with security agencies and court of competent jurisdiction to address these ugly features of our national life. In a heterogeneous society such as ours, frictions are apt to arise. Given this reconciliation, peace building and deterrence are paramount. Permit me to re-echo my earlier clarion call to the effect that the profile of Minister of Justice should be scaled up to capital-intensive status. We cannot afford to engage threat to peace with a kid glove. It has to be purposeful and full blast, as amply demonstrated by His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Requisite Commission. May I humbly disclose that we are progressively making vital recoveries of our looted funds stashed abroad. However, let me affirm that the legal procedural requirements for these recoveries are altogether tasking and cumbersome. Besides, most times we have to engage the services of well-grounded lawyers and consultants to effect recovery which were promptly deposited at federal government treasury. To smoothen our operations in this regard, it was deemed expedient to establish asset recovery unit in my office, and so far their efforts are quite salutary even in the face of zero requisite commission from recovery. I would like to reiterate my earlier request to the effect that about 2.5% of recovered looted money should be earmarked to the asset recovery unit to service logistics, operational cost, payments to private lawyers and consultants. Executive Bill for the establishment of Administration of Criminal Justice Monitoring Commission or agency. The spectra of crimes and criminality in our entity and the near absence to address seeming loopholes, contradictions, and ambiguities in the administration of criminal justice informed the passage by the National Assembly of the famous Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015. This act has since been in force, and the Ministry of Justice now operates Administration of Criminal Justice Department. We have impaneled the Administration of Criminal Justice Committee to work closely with the department. Members of this committee are the foot soldiers for monitoring and implementation of Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015 in Nigeria. Only recently, we came to the realization that the mandate and operational framework of the committee are tasking and wide-ranging, requiring enhanced funding that would facilitate their operations for empirically observable outcomes. After a sober reflection, we embrace the view that the committee should be transformed into an agency or commission reminiscent of other parastatals under the purview of Federal Ministry of Justice. To drive our point home, the management of the ministry shall convey to the National Assembly, after endorsement by the Federal Executive Council, an executive bill for the establishment of Criminal Justice Administration Commission for your consideration and passage. The commission or agency shall ipso facto work at close quarters with our statutory corruption bodies, our courts of competent jurisdictions, international corporate entities, and some specialized agencies of the United Nations. It will be a Compton leaf in our criminal justice administration. Child protection. You will recall that sensitive to the plight of our children, the National Assembly passed the Child Rights Act by popular demand. This legal instrument is being anchored by Citizens' Rights Department domiciled at Federal Ministry of Justice. Only recently, there was a tripartite meeting involving Ministry of Justice, Ministry of Women Affairs, Budget Office of the Federation, and UNESCO on how to